So just to brief about the contents of this presentations and all, what I'm trying to brief that whenever basically all students and the fresh graduates come from the college, there is a transition phase, and what are the challenges they face when they join any big company and the corporate company, and when they go for a project-based site execution, and how the construction site projects are being taken up, and what sort of skill enhancements they have to look forward while they're studying their courses, and what are the future career path and industry expectations out of them. So these are certain takeaways and certain contents in which I'll be just briefing this 45 minutes. So what I feel that there is a transition phase, I understand is. What is this transition phase I refer to? This is a transition phase that because once you're in college and any fresh graduates who just passed out after completing his degree of bachelor's degree or the diploma degree, there is a different, altogether different world, which is called the construction world. So site college and studies and field performances are totally different. So this is the biggest transition phase, which most of the people, even including me, when I just joined, I started 18 years back, I faced it, because there is a transition phase, because we have, as students, we have a different perspective and we have a different aspirations that when we will go out field into the world, how we'll be performing. But then there is a reality check. The things are totally different at site, because definitely the site operations goes in a very different way, and what is not in the classroom studies or in the practical learning what we used to do in our college days. So what are the major challenges what as a first joinee, as a fresher joinee, what I faced, or any other joinee who's going on all these phases of the career will face? These are certain major challenges. The construction sites or any mechanical or civil related jobs are having extreme job conditions, because there might be geographical conditions, or we are always open to sky. We are very much probable to weather changes and conditions, and definitely everything is being impacted. Like presently, COVID, Corona, there's a different impact on the project execution. So there are different extreme job conditions. And even the fresh graduates, when they come out of the colleges, they are not used to that disciplinary attributes of them. Because once in the college, there is a different routine, you have some breaks, you have the classes timetable, but when it comes to the project, there is a different type of discipline is required. You need to report in time. You can't bunk the classes without information. There is an HR department, everything. The disciplinary attributes are there based on the conditions and the job conditions. And what we feel that there are certain subject knowledge which most of the students and the freshers, when they join, they lack, because that might be the part of their curriculum in their first or second year. And by the time they're coming out of the college and joining any project, any company for their job, that most of them have forgotten that. And they think that, okay, while we are studying, they might not feel the relevance of that at that time. But while coming in the site execution, they will find that, oh, this subject, I missed it. And this subject, I used to bunk the classes and I was not that serious. But okay, oh no, my God, this is only the subject which is most useful now. So these are certain perspectives we need to develop right from the beginning. But still, not to be very fearful of that. If somebody is having a good grasping power and he is adaptable, definitely he can cope up with this in the proper guidance and all. Things are not that tough. Everybody is working, and the future industry is also working on that. So many professions are working. They have been through all these phases. If people have not been fall apart, then definitely the industry would not have grown up. So there is nothing to fear about, but we should develop a proper perspective right from the beginning. That's only the phase of what I want to brief through this transition phase and its challenges. And just to brief about what mostly goes wrong when you comes out of that part. The classroom studies are what I discussed, and field performance are together different ball games. We definitely, when we start our jobs, we try to plunge into that, okay, now I have passed out, let me search for a job in any of the big corporates, any of the big construction companies. And but with the basic knowledge base, what I have been done in my college days is lacking. So that's where you feel hesitant while working. And mostly we are not that much exposed that how the projects work in our curriculum. Now mostly the industrial trainings and that parts are there in most of the curriculums. Even at our time also it was there, but now it is much more mandatory, so it's good. But definitely people doesn't get a chance to get a training or industrial training in a many major projects. So major projects, how the structures are getting built, that exposure lacks. So these things goes wrong when any new incumbent joins any site. So these are certain things which mostly goes wrong. So what can be done on that? So there is nothing that curriculums has to be modified. Mostly The universities and the big overall intellectuals are working on that, how to adjust slots for the basic concepts of the project management and how the site managements offer. The curriculums are getting modified. Some of the universities around have adopted to that. Some are still, but okay, it's a part of the process. And we used to have a pre-placement project site exposure. That is a basic suggestion that definitely should be mandatory. Most of the students come for only certification. If they are really interested, definitely they should very much get involved in how the site functions, and definitely there is a lot of things to learn. And apart from that, based on this COVID and other things, there are many virtual certifications and the practical training courses are explored, where you can really have a brief before entering into any job applications or any job, that what all things to be taken care of, what attributes you should really develop before getting into any of the working profile. Even if you want to become your own entrepreneur, then also you need to understand how the projects work. So just to have a small topic on that, how the basic site operations work, that's the most concentration I will try to have on this webinar topic. On that, we need to discuss with you all. So let's start. I will just be very fast on the slides, but I will just try to be very much simpler on my explanations part. What do you understand when you go for site operations as a project? So basically, project, let's take an example. There are type of projects, big projects. We understand big projects. We always talk big things on that. But let me try to explain you in a simpler way. You know all that there is a smallest of the smallest project also available in the time duration, like bigger dam projects, construction, big hospitals, infrastructure, road. They are very big, long duration projects. But there is also a project which is of minimum 52 seconds. You can guess that, but because it's not an interactive session, I will just let you know when very fast. In the Formula car racing, if any car goes in that, they change on the track route and they changes their tire. If you have seen any Formula car racing, it's a 52-second job project. 52-second project. People are assigned, resources are assigned, people are there. The driver comes into the lane, he changes the wheel, and he's again back on the track for the race. So that's also a small project. So let us not think that in the big project management wise, what is the project? It's a big definition. Okay, slide wise, internet wise, book wise, you will get many definitions. But it's a temporary endeavor. What you can say that, which is having unique product. Any result is there. Like in a, what example I quoted as a formula, it is a changing of the tire. It's a unique product service which is getting the output, and it's a temporary. It has a definite beginning and it has a definite end. There are desired objectives inside that, and mostly it is unique. It's unique and it can be repetitive also. In case of mechanical jobs, it's repetitive. In case of big site projects and all, and unique projects, unique buildings, is unique also. So that's called as a project, as a definition. So then what do you find that what are the insights, what are the importance and the relevance of a project planning? These planning words is much more very hypothetical, and people are so much fascinating about this, that planning means it's a good reputed job and it's a only neat and decent work in the industry. Other things are very much bad. It doesn't go like that. Everyone does the planning job. It's everyone's job. It's not a rocket science that somebody has to be qualified and then only he can do the planning in the laptop. This laptop planning are certain tools, but we need to really develop some conceptual things. Then only you can be better planner, then only you can be better executioner. So for understanding for the freshers, you all that how the site organizations work, any job sites, and it may be a mechanical job, be an industrial civil job, any project, there are different type of setup which you are not much exposed while sitting in your college final days and all. So that type of setup you need to understand. There is a site organization. Site are the working place where the project is getting executed. So there are temporary establishments that also need to plan, because you need to plan labor colony from where all your labor colony people will be set up there. Then you have to take care of those labors, the health facilities. Then there is a batching plant. Then you have to have stores for your materials. Then you have to have a reinforcement yard. Then you have to have a shuttering and formwork. The shuttering formwork word might not be very familiar, but it's a part of that. When you do the shuttering placement, then only the concrete takes the shape. That's why it's called as formwork. So these are certain yards, these are certain basic back-end planning or things you have to keep in mind while going for a project, that okay, these other than the execution of the setup, these setups also needs to be taken care. So you should have in mind that there are certain setups in any project. It's big or small, it's company to company, it's different. Everybody has a different style, but these are certain basic things which really need to be a part of any project site. Now, when you see for the execution team, there is a team. People are there. These are the manpower resources. How they execute this project? There are mostly the project leaders. There is a planning and technical department, which does all the drawing studies, quantity calculations, projections, analysis, and then there are execution engineers. Don't think that the second part department is the only the most sophisticated department. It is an important department. All departments are very important. People always fascinate that, okay, my kid or even somebody individual, that I have to sit in the planning. It's a big, good, sophisticated job, and people will be sitting in AC condition rooms and containers. It's not the case. If you can only be good planner once you know only the good execution engineer. So don't get fascinated with the wrong things on that, but understand every department is important. The people sitting out in technical department are much more are just thinking a way forward. So how to think the way forward? Definitely you should be good as a basic execution engineer, then you can think forward. So first, the starting point always for any person has to be the execution engineers. Then you can be a good planning person, and then you can be eventually a project leader. And then there are safety and quality departments. The safety aspects are the most important. We can't play with the life of the people. So the utmost important based on different ISO codes and norms. Safety department is the most important department, and definitely safety and quality goes along with the time, along with the product. And there is parallel accounts and administrative department to take care of the payments, administrative issues, slationing, site clearances, local body authorities and all. To again just get into that feeling, for any construction projects, there are two most important things. And I think it's important for not only construction projects, always any project, any life, time and money. And now, as the saying says, time is the money. So both things go hand in hand in any construction project. So construction project also you can see as an individual baby. As an individual, any project site you can consider as an individual baby, which has a time span. Where it's a unique product. You have to finish. It has a lifespan. It has to deliver the things, and then the product has to come out. So that's the point, that it has time and money. So it's a phase that once you timely start, and if you really timely finish it, you really are going to save some money out of it, and you really need to have some profit out of that, because everything comes for money. We are any construction projects and whatever any company is building, it's not for charity, it's not for any NGO, nothing. Everybody works for money. So anything who is working for you also needs money. For whom you are building the end product, that also you need also money. You need to invest money. So time and money are the most important vital factors. So you consider that that is a start point of any project. There is a planned duration that for 2 years, 3 years, or for 1 month, or even for 52 seconds, like what I quoted at. There is a start and then there is an end. So there is a time duration and there is a planned cost for that. Take for example, whatever example I quoted of the formula is, whatever mechanics, whatever technicians you are placing, they come for a cost also. That there will be 4 placed, there will be tools, there is a cost for that. That is called a planned cost. Then most of the projects suffer. Either there is a time extension or there is a cost extension, because when there were time extension, the actual cost also goes up. Or there can be second scenario where the start and end projects are fine. There is a planned duration, there is a planned cost, but sometimes to achieve the things in time, you really need to spend a lot on actual cost also. It's a very huge difference on the planned cost and the actual cost. But the timely you have finished it. So these are certain things, challenges mostly the projects face. So how if you have a better site operation, a better site planning, then definitely these problems can be addressed. I'm just going on a very brief overview. There are many subjects that are very deep: project management, construction project management, cost management, costing, risk management. But it's just a brief that how you should look over towards that thing, that site operations and the project operation goes, and what are the key things important to analyze or to start with. So definitely you need to start setting up the goals when you start the planning of the project. How you want to develop the strategies, how you go. So let me again give you example, very simple example. I will just get back to the slides later. You all have been in your kids' day when you are about from 6 years to 10 years or 12 years. You need to celebrate birthdays at our times and all. Now definitely people are much more modern and smart that we always assemble in some hotel, restaurant and ask them, our friends to come down there. But from previous days, some of your earlier days, when you plan a small birthday party at your home. So how does your mother used to work? We all say that planning is a sophisticated job. You need all the softwares to learn. But the basic things in the world is mother. So let us again get back to our mothers, that how they did our birthday party celebrations. They were also doing, they were not using any software. So how they used to do. So when you say example, when you say that mother, I need to, birthday dates are mostly, everybody is known to the family. So okay, XY date today, consider today is 18th July. That 22nd July is somebody's birthday, and if our participants' birthdays on 22nd July, the first thing he or she goes to her or mother or his mother, that 22nd July, I want to call, celebrate a birthday party. So what the first question mother asks? Mother asks, mom asks, how many friends you want to invite? How many friends you want to invite? Then next question is, she asks that what of the scope, what is the menu, what are the dishes you expect out of this? What is the menu, what you want to make them eat, whether you want to have or call them on the evening snacks or on the dinner or on the lunch. She inquires. She suggests also, she decides also accordingly with your decisions, with the family decision, these things are getting concluded. So once these things are getting concluded, what he is doing, what she is doing, she is defining her scope of work. She is deciding what all items she needs to plan and prepare. So that's called as a scope when you go for a project management work. And then next, once you do your scope is decided, the menu is decided, the dishes are decided, any XYZ, any type of dishes, veg or non-veg, then your mother decides as per how to prepare as per the menu and as per the recipe. So this recipe is called, what you can call in the project management as a methodology, how that particular dish will be cooked. So based on that cooking methodology, she will start preparing. Like some dishes are very spontaneous, that before the party or 1 hour before it can be started. Some dishes prepare like soaking, submerging some things in the inside the water or for 1 day before. So she will decide based on that methodology. Now, based on this dish recipe, she will allocate the work also. In a birthday party, it doesn't mean that only mothers used to work. Mothers used to work, but what mothers, you can recall that how they used to work and how they used to allocate resources, how they used to divide their work. Some work, specialized work, mother used to do herself. Some additional market works she assigns to the dad. Go and bring this, go and bring that. Some particular work of housekeeping and some decoration and some setup up she gives to you also as well. That okay, you do this. If you have elder sister, then elder sister shares the load. Something she gets it done through the maid. Okay, the cutting of vegetables, these are the load sharing. These are the certain things the maid has to the home, the household assistant, she has to do. So what she is doing here, she is allocating the work to different people. So what in a project, what you called as are resources. There are different labor resources. I will go through that slide later. So these are certain resources she used to conduct. Actually, what you see, what she is doing, she is not using any software, she is not using any laptop, but she is planning. She has all these her mental skills, and this is so spontaneous with them. So that's what I am being insisting. It's only the intelligent fundamental property of intelligent behavior. She is thinking intelligently. So when you come to a site planning, when it comes to a project planning, whether you are sitting in a project planner person or any safety person or any executioner, you should display the fundamental property of intelligent thinking. Intelligent thinking. Now to recall my example, you can go ahead with this, the sophisticated terminology. That what I was telling, what has to be made? What was the menu? What she was defining, because when it comes to the site operation, what is the scope? Project, what is the scope? We have to build a 4-story building, you have to build a 8-story building, you have to build a hospital block, you have to build a dam, you have to build a road. What is my scope? And how we are going to meet, that is the recipe. That methodology, you can recall that recipe of that particular menu. How the rice has to be good, some particular dish, paneer, dosa. There are different methods, recipes related to that. So how it has to be good, that's the technology, that's the recipe. When it has to be good, the time, that how many duration of the project is a 2-year duration, project is a 3-year duration. There are each sub-store milestones that by 1 year, the foundations has to be over. By 2nd year, it has to go to 4th floor. By 7th year, the entire campus of 26,000 crore, the parliament has to be over. These are different phases based on the scale, based on the quantum. This depends, time duration. It can be 52 seconds. It can be 7 years project. It can be a 10 years project. It can be 3 years project. So when what particular thing has to happen. So there are schedules for that. Like how much, everything has a cost, but definitely the mom and dad are taking care of that at the home. But when you come for a professional setup, the cost has to go, that you need to really understand how much money, because everything I told, time and money. So that's the most important. And for whom you are building, because who is your client when the project, and here your customers were your friends, those who are coming for the party. So these are the customers. So when you comes to a professional setup, your customer is your client who gives you this project. That okay, sometimes it's the government that okay, build a parliament for us, build a road for us. I needed to, this is the money and this is the specification. This much length of running meter road has to be made. This dam has to be made. Any convention center has to be made. And now this why and where is the strategy, what you are planning at site operations. So this is the five, these are the five aspects. And this, as see, understand the location also, where the things are being placed. Strategy is placed at the wrist, because that only controls, because this controls all the five operations you have to control. And everything is getting hold up. When you close the fingers, it is coming at the place, at your palm. So that is why and where are placed here. Once you, if you are, assume yourself that if you are without hand, God forbid, nobody should have that, without a thumb, then when you try to work your four fingers, that doesn't, you are not that much flexible on that, because you don't have a thumb. The thumb only makes your wrist or your a firm grip. So that the cost is the closing factor. Rest of four fingers are definitely or at their relevant usage and at their appropriate positions. So now understand, now you understood that why we used to plan a project. That was important. I quoted example of that. Even when it's a small birthday party at home, that's an easy, and mothers are expert in that because they are very much attached to their kids and all, and they are the homemakers. They are the best part, and they do, and they are the key factor. So they do it themselves spontaneously. They don't need any software for that. They don't need any PMI certification. They don't need any training for that. It's a spontaneous, natural for them. But when you come for a professional setup, where you really understand, you really need to organize all these things. So these are the certain three basic principles. Now you can correlate with my examples: what, how, and when. What to produce, what was called the scope, how to perform, the methodology and the technology, and when to perform. There's the time schedules for everything. And for an organizational point of view, once you go with this, these are the things which really goes for a sustainable growth and the blueprint. Because you have a plan for any project, then definitely you are about to have a more percentage of success chance. Like if you have a better plan, then definitely you will much more better organized. So there is always a myth, what I was telling, that people think that planning means the paper works. It's only the paperwork. So let me very think sitting in a sophisticated environment in AC, and I will be doing all the paperwork, documentation work. See, you don't understand the project, you don't know on the fundamentals of execution, then definitely you can't be a good planner. And for to begin getting a good planner, you need to sharpen your execution skills. Then definitely, if you have a perspective towards all these things, to plan your execution well, you can be a good planner. And slowly in the progress, you can lead the projects, because you know the execution also, you know planning, you have a foresightedness. That's the thing out of. So what the planning does, it really takes out the struggle in execution. Because if you really go and enter a site, anything you work, see, you understand, if you don't, mother doesn't have a plan, she enters the kitchen, what has to be cooked, who will do what, it will be chaotic. Imagine a kitchen that suddenly somebody has come, okay, tomorrow is 5 minutes, the party is there. It's chaotic. In the 5 minutes, people are calling, it's chaotic. Who will do what? If you choose a bigger menu without any plan, because in 5 minutes, only tea can be made, or even Maggie can be made. But in 5 minutes, you want to make some chicken, you want to make dosa, you want to make some chola, bhatura, whatsoever, any dish of this India. It's very chaotic because you are not planned. You have not planned it. You will not have the basic ingredient. You will open the cupboards. You will find that boxes are empty. That means the store yards will be empty. You don't have the material. You don't have the helping hand. You have forgotten the maid to call. Father is out for some market and some movie. The kid is out for playing. How she will? It's all chaotic then. So that's why it takes out the struggle in execution. Your teams are much more organized. They are much more at ease. They are much more. That's why the planning is required. You have the confidence of the people, and definitely, as I told, we are very much open to geographic conditions. So we can have a proactive action, because every time the plan doesn't go well, what you have planned, because we are open to sky, we are open to rain, we are open to weather conditions. Anything changes. You plan for anything activity, and the rain happens. You plan for anything, and the Corona, COVID happened, lockdown happened. So you need to have the proactive actions, because if you have a plan, you are organized, you can go and change and maneuver that plan. What I told, scope identification, it involves contract and obligations when you go for a professional setup, and there are client and these are the client. This client I refer that these are the owners. It can be private client, it can be government client. Here your client and customer was you as a client that you are ordering. Yeah, you are discussing with mother that you need to call your friends. So your friends were the customer stakeholders and you are the client of mom. That mom, I need to arrange a birthday party for me. So she was the call, you can call as a sublet contractor. She was organizing the birthday for you. So this is the word called client for whom we are working, who is giving the money. In a birthday party, definitely that context, the money is not involved. But in mostly a professional setup and any organized setup, it is the client is there. It's being government or any private client, like any developer who wants to invest, who wants to construct a residential apartment or any other infrastructure development. So what does this planning and project site operations does? It finds the time frame of the project, and there are different type of invoices of the project. Like when I told time and money we are working. So when we ask for the money, when we are working for anything, the client has to pay me also. So there will be different status of schedule of invoice. Like whatever work I'm doing, I'm like monthly salary, like a monthly payment. You really need to raise your bill also. Like the one who are working for you, if your housemates, your any drivers, you give them, they give your services for 30 days, they do some work for you as per your wishes, and you provide them salary at the month end. The same way, like it's a service. I'm doing a construction project at my site. I'm pouring concrete, I'm tying reinforcement. So after 1 month, whatever quantum I have done, there is a pre-agreed rate with the client. Okay, if you do this much work, I will pay you this much. So I will claim that invoice, sir, this much work I have done, you please, this is my bill registered. Then accordingly, the contract conditions, they will pay me. The money flows. This is the cash flow that you will, once you're getting more into project management and site operation, then you will understand how the money comes and how the money goes. Because what you are purchasing also for the raw material, you are also spending some money. So once you are delivering a product, that also you are going for asking for your invoice. This is called as invoice. What you are raising for your client. So that might be different stages. Sometimes it's a lump sum payment, it's a monthly basis, sometimes it's item rate, sometimes it's on the milestone basis. Like I will give you this 100 crore projects, 10 crores will be done on excavation, some 20 crores will be done on completion of the first slab, remaining 30 crores on the full commissioning, and final handing over remaining 10 crores. In this way, there can be division. So based on that particular time frame, you will raise that invoice.